Donald Trump hasn't even shown up yet, and already there have been several very noisy ejections out of this pavilion. We'll show you the first one right here. Happened about an hour ago. 3 Muslim men wearing white T-shirts that read "Muslims United Against Hate" were all tossed out to chants of USA, USA. What's interesting is that we found these guys standing in line like everybody else. They had a free ticket to get in originally, and when Trump people saw them, the campaign tossed them off of the line, and then they just went across the street there to the other protesters. Giancarlo Nardini is a Chicago business owner, just like Donald Trump. In fact, his restaurant sits a few blocks from Trump Tower. Last week, he snapped up a free ticket to the Trump rally, and now he can't wait to go. Or can he?
The idea was to get as many of these tickets as we can and then not go to the rally, ideally to make it look like he only has 30 people there.
In a fairly blue state, Chicago is definitely a very blue city. Cook County Republicans this week put Trump a distant third in their latest poll, behind his rivals, Ohio Governor John Kasich and Senator Ted Cruz.
In part, is this just cute? Yeah, it's just cute, but it's also our goal to say, hey, Donald, this ain't your neighborhood. You are not welcome here.
Meanwhile, Black and Hispanic groups are planning such a large protest outside the Trump rally at the University of Illinois Chicago Pavilion that a stage is being set up across the street to handle the protesters. UIC student Cassandra Robledo is one of them.
All of us just kind of were shocked. Why UIC of all places? So that was our first reaction. And then our second reaction was just anger.
The UIC campus is as culturally diverse as you'll find anywhere in the country, and Robledo says her group is relishing the chance to take aim at Trump.
I guess this is a chance for us to empower ourselves and speak up for ourselves.
Nearly 200 UIC teachers signed a letter to the school administration urging them to cancel Trump's rally over fears of violence. And Robledo helped form a Stop Trump Chicago social media site to coordinate the protesters.
As of now, I believe we're at 9,000 people who've clicked going.
And that would be about as many people outside the UIC pavilion as can fit inside. UIC's administration says it takes no position whatsoever on Donald Trump, that it's just renting out its pavilion as it would to anybody who pays. Trump supporter Sandy Chiznikevich also got a ticket to the rally, and she will be going. Is it lonely being a Trump supporter in a blue state?
Yes, it is. It takes guts for him to come here because I don't know how well received he will be. This is why we have the First Amendment. Everybody gets to voice their opinion. The protesters get to voice theirs, we get to voice ours, and he gets to voice his.
Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez, who will also be protesting at the rally, says the demonstrators won't make a bit of difference to Trump supporters or his detractors. But he says that's not the point.
I think it is important that when history is recorded, that his trip to Chicago did not go by with our silence, because silence is acquiescence to his message.
Andy Rosen, Al Jazeera, Chicago. Last week, President Trump reportedly said some not so nice things about Haiti, referring to it as one of those S-hole countries and questioning why Haitians were even allowed into the U.S. So wouldn't he be interested to know that in the shadow of his Chicago Trump Tower sits the bust of Chicago's founder, none other than a Haitian?
Since you point out, now it is very ironic.
I think that's pretty cool.
In 1790, Jean-Baptiste Dusable became Chicago's very first resident when he settled on the banks of the Chicago River, right back there. It's right on the spot where a gleaming Apple store stands today. Dusable became wealthy, wheeling and dealing with local Native Americans. He was regarded as a well-educated, cultured owner of multiple properties, and today he's got his name in big letters on a bridge, a lakefront harbor, a museum. Wait a minute. Does all that make him almost Trumpian?
In terms of the character and quality of the two men, I think there's no comparison.
Dusable doesn't get nearly as much interest as other Chicago luminaries, but those who know their history are proud.
I think he's a great Haitian and a great man, and Chicago was founded by a Haitian. That's great.
Still, most Chicagoans are as unaware as Trump may be. Do you think he'll be surprised to learn that the founder of Chicago is a black Haitian?
Probably.
But Chicago's mayor, Rahm Emanuel, for one, isn't laughing off Trump's comments.
This city, founded by an immigrant from Haiti.
President Trump is, well, not so popular in Chicago. He's referred to the city as worse than Afghanistan, out of control, and a disaster. He was chased away from his only campaign appearance here in 2016 before it even started. The barricades that went up outside Trump Tower that night have been in place ever since. And all his Trump Tower retail storefronts have remained vacant since the tower opened 9 years ago, even though they share the same prime riverfront view that DuSable himself had from his property in 1790.
And I wish Jean-Baptiste were here to speak for himself.
And what would President Trump say if he found out about DuSable's descendancy?
I don't know if he ever will.
I should hope that he would be happy.
He will probably say that's a fake news.
Andy Roschen, I-24 News, Chicago.